Live from France this morning with the latest, Eamon, on where we are with China.
Yeah, good morning, Sarah. So here's the latest. I just told you that we were expecting to see this press conference between Macron and Trump at 10:30 East Coast time, based on the guidance that we'd been getting. Now we just have a statement in from the White House press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, saying the president continues to work hard on behalf of the American people and is still in meetings. We will try to keep you posted on timing of this press conference. So at this point, not clear when that presser is going to happen. We were expecting it, as I say, about a half an hour from now. One of the questions that reporters are going to want to ask the president is, can you give us some more detail about this call that you say happened between the U.S. and Chinese side overnight? The president was pressed on that earlier when reporters got into one of the bilateral sessions. They asked him to clarify or offer any more detail on those calls. And here's how he responded to that question.
We're talking about calls. We've had calls. We've had calls at the highest levels, but I don't want to talk about that. But the vice chairman put out a statement last night that was a statement and saying that he wants to make a deal and he wants calm.
So the president said earlier in the day that there was a call between the U.S. and China side, then asked and pressed by reporters. He said, I don't want to talk about calls. We've had calls at the highest level. Nobody that we've talked to has been able to offer specific details about who called who, what was said, whether there's a new timetable for negotiations or anything like that. So I think that will be question number one. And then, of course, there are a whole host of other questions. The bilateral relationship between the United States and France, which has been testy at times. The U.S. approach to the entire EU. Boris Johnson is here. The question of Brexit. So many questions to hear from the president on. But now, at this point right now, not sure exactly when we'll hear from him. Things are fluid here in France, guys.
So, I mean, just to read into what you're saying, Eamon, it feels like the president is caught between wanting to go hard and tough on China and not wanting the market to fall apart. Is that what the tension is?
Sure. Well, he clearly has both imperatives in mind, right? And you saw this sort of odd moment over the weekend where he was asked if he has any second thoughts about the China trade war, and the president said, sure I do. I have second thoughts about everything. And within moments, White House press aides were scrambling to explain that because a lot of people said, okay, the president's now softening his stance on China. The way they explained it was to do two things simultaneously. One, they said the president didn't hear the question about whether or not he had second thoughts. And two, an entirely different explanation, they said what the president meant to say was that he had second thoughts about not being tougher on the Chinese. That is, he should have gone harder on the tariffs on Friday. So two entirely different explanations for the way the president responded to that question. But the bottom line is the White House didn't want anyone to get the sense that the president is backing off here on the China trade war. Then we hear these comments from the president last night about a phone call or two phone calls that went back and forth between the U.S. and Chinese sides. The market obviously liked what it heard there and is responding to that now. But we'll see whether the president can offer some more specifics on it when we see him.